Testing equality of two population means. In the previous lecture, we were discussing the testing of hypothesis for one population mean. We were comparing population mean with a given number. Here we have the two population and we want to compare the mean of the two population. For example, there are the boys and girls in the class, and we want to compare that the average marks of the boys and the average marks of the girls in the class are equal or not. So our null hypothesis will be H naught population mean for girls, or the mean marks for girls is equal to the mean marks for boys in the class, with the alternate hypothesis that these are not equal. Or we may have a claim from the girls that the boys are getting the higher marks, or boys are claiming that the girls are getting the higher marks. There may be the two other possibilities according to this H1. But initially our concept is what? The concept is how the means of the two populations can be compared. This can be done by using Z or T test. So in this presentation, we will cover the implementation of comparison of two means by using the Z test and the T test. That is the idea. The sampling distribution of the difference between the two independent sample means. So before going to start the procedure of comparison of two means, we have to focus on the sampling distribution of the difference of the two independent sample means. Consider the two small population. One consists of 3 men and other comprised on 4 women. As shown in the following figure, population of male and the population of female. Tom, Danny, Harry, these are the 3 people in the population number 1, which is the population of males, and 4 females are there in the population of female. We have to take a sample of size 2 from population 1. From here, the population size is 3 and the sample size which is to be selected from here is 2. Sample size 2. From the second population, the population size N is 4. And sample is to be selected of size 3. Capital N is equal to 4 is the population size, and the sample of size 3 is to be selected from here. If we are selecting by with replacement, then total samples here will be 3 raised to the power 2, which will be 9. And if we are selecting by without replacement, then total samples will be 3 combination 2. That will be 3. Here the total samples will be 4 raised to the power 3 by with replacement, and 4 combination 3 by without replacement. This is equal to 4. Total 4 samples can be selected if we are doing by without replacement. So we are solving this problem by without replacement. So these samples will be what? List all possible pair of independent samples. From population 1, all samples are 3. We have to construct these 3 samples. From population 2, we have 4 samples that can be selected. The 3 possibilities from population 1 and 4 possibilities from population 2. Finally, what to do? We have to find out the all possibilities, all possible pairs of these 2 independent samples. So that is to be completed. So these are the samples from population of male, T and D, Danny, and what was the first name? Tom. Tom and Danny is the first sample, T and H, D and H. These are the 3 possible samples by without replacement. And these are the 4 possible samples of size 3 from the population number 2. So CBD, CBN, CDN, BDN. But these lists are by without replacement. If we are doing it by with replacement, so here we will have larger number of samples. All possible pairs can be constructed by combination of TD with these 3, then TD with these 3, and TD with these 3, and TD with these 3. So TD will be the first, and remaining will be here. Similarly, after completing all possible pairs with TD, we have to complete all possible pairs by TH. So these are the possible pairs by TH. And lastly, we have a possible pairs by DH. So these are 12 possible samples. So the probability of getting one sample out of these 12 samples is 1 upon 12. So 1 upon 12 is what? 1 upon 12 is the probability of getting one sample out of these samples. So that is to be done in part B. Independent samples, each of 12 possible pairs, and all are equally likely. Equally likely means what? They have the same probability. Every pair in the list of 12 pairs is equally likely, means it has the same probability of selecting it from the population. So these are probability is 1 upon 12. Now this is the summary of the problem. Population mean from the first population is mu1, mu2 is the mean of the second population. These are the parameters. These 4 are parameters. 2 from population 1 and the remaining 2 from, because these are the characteristics of population. And these are the statistics: sample mean 1, sample mean 2, sample standard deviation 1, sample standard deviation 2, sample size 1, sample size 2. Similarly, we can have the 2 more things here: population size 1 and population size 2. That can also be included in this table. So these are the 3 elements from population, and these are the 3 elements from samples. In what we are interested to make the sampling distribution of the difference of the two means. The one sample mean is x bar 1 and second sample mean is x bar 2. So x bar 1 and x bar 2, these are the 2 sample mean. We are interested in the difference of these 2 means. So the difference of these 2 means is a variable, and we are going to construct a sampling distribution of this difference. So on the next slide, we have a concept of this variable. So this is one variable. I can assume this is variable, suppose this is variable y. So in what we are interested in forming a sampling distribution of y. The sampling distribution of y is actually the sampling distribution of the difference between the 2 means. These 12 differences, if I have the data of all of the 12 samples given on the first example, so we can construct this sampling distribution in the same way as we did the sampling distribution for one sample mean. So but the only thing is changed. That is basically the variable is the not x1 bar is my variable, not x2 bar is my variable. The difference of the two means will be my variable. So we are going to construct a sampling distribution of the difference of the two means. In this distribution, following characteristics hold. What these characteristics are? These characteristics are the variable x1 bar minus x2 bar having the mean mu, and this is the difference of the two population means. Similarly, we have the standard deviation or the standard error for the x bar 1 minus x bar 2, and you know it is sigma square upon n1, sigma 2 square upon n2, and a square root of that. X1 bar minus x2 bar is normally distributed. By the two conditions we have, it is normally distributed. It is normally distributed if the populations are normal, and it is normally distributed if the sample size is large. The conclusion of this slide is we have one variable. The variable is x bar 1 minus x bar 2. This is our variable. And the distribution of this variable is what? Probability x bar 1 minus x bar 2. And all the probabilities we have with the condition that sum of all probabilities will be equal to 1. This is called sampling distribution of mean. This is called sampling distribution of the difference of the two sample means. Three important characteristics of this distribution we are observing here. The mean of this distribution is equal to the difference of the two population mean. The mean of this sampling distribution of difference of two mean is equal to the difference of the two population means. Similarly, the standard error of this distribution is sigma 1 square upon n1 plus sigma 2 square upon n2 with the square root. Sigma 1 square is the population variance and sigma 2 square is the population variance too. Third condition is very important. This distribution is normally distributed if the two populations are normally distributed. Otherwise, this distribution will be approximately normally distributed, provided the sample sizes are large. As we studied earlier in the central limit theorem, if the sample sizes are large, then the distribution of the sampling distribution of the difference of the two sample mean is approximately equal to the normal population. We can construct the Z statistics by using these three conditions. So Z statistics is what? Z is equal to the variable. This is our variable, x bar 1 minus x bar 2. And this is the population mean, mu1 minus mu2. And in denominator, we have a standard error. So this is the standard error of this distribution. So this Z score will be used. This Z score can only be used in the two situations. One condition is population is normal. Second condition is sample sizes are large. If these two conditions, if any of these two conditions fulfill, then we can use this Z score. Otherwise, we cannot use it. In this slide, we have a few quantities which are given: mu1, sigma 1, x bar 1, s1, mu2, standard deviation of population to mean to S2. Which quantities represent the parameters and which represent the statistics? So according to the definition of parameter, any characteristic of population is known as parameter and any characteristic of sample is called statistics. So I am just highlighting the parameters by the green pen and the statistics by red pen. S2 is the sample standard deviation, is a statistic. X2 bar is the mean of second sample, it is a statistic. And S1 is the standard deviation of sample 1. It is a statistic. And X bar 1 is the mean of first sample. It is an statistic. So the elements which are highlighted with the red pen are all statistics. So all statistics can be served as a variable. So these are the variable. We can construct the sampling distribution of mean. We can construct the sampling distribution of standard deviation. We can construct the sampling distribution of the difference of two means. We can construct the sampling distribution of the ratio of the two sample standard deviations. So these are basically the topic which we have to cover later on in the other chapters which are remaining. This is the mean of population 1 is a parameter. The standard deviation of population 1 is also a parameter. It is mean to the parameter, and sigma 2 is the population. Standard deviation of population 2 is also a parameter. So these four are parameters which are highlighted by green, and the four which are highlighted by red are statistic. Parameters are constant. All the four parameters are constant because they are single numbers. But all the statistics may be the random variable, because if we change the sample, the value of the statistic will be changed. So the distribution can be formed. So we can form the distribution of any statistic. So I am describing here few sampling distribution over this slide. This is the sampling distribution of first sample mean. If we have two columns, X bar and PX bar, this is sampling distribution of first sample mean. But we can construct the sampling distribution of the difference of two means, like X bar 1 minus X bar 2. This is my random variable. And in the next column, we have probability of X bar 1 minus X bar 2. This is known as sampling distribution of the difference in two sample means. The variable is X bar 1 minus X bar 2. Here the variable is X bar 1. The total must be 1 in all cases. Similarly, if I am interested in the sampling distribution of S1, so I have a table like this. This is the standard deviation of first sample and probability of S1. And total should be 1. This is known as sampling distribution of sample standard deviation. If I am interested in the sampling distribution of the ratio of two sample standard deviation, that can be represented as S1 upon S2. So S1 upon S2 is my variable. Each value of S1 is divided by S2 and the result is a variable, and we are forming a distribution of S1 upon S2. So in the next column, we have the probability of S1 upon S2. This is known as the sampling distribution of the ratio of the two sample standard deviations. Total must be 1 here. So now I have four sampling distributions here. This is the sampling distribution of sample mean 1. And this is the sampling distribution of the difference of the two sample means. This is the distribution of one sample standard deviation. And the last one is the distribution of ratio of two sample standard deviation. According to the central limit theorem, these two distributions are this one and this one. Hold central limit theorem. If the sample sizes are large, Then the sampling distribution of one mean is approximately normally distributed, regardless the shape of population. The similar characteristic will be held by this distribution. Okay, if sample sizes are large, then the sampling distribution of the difference of the two sample means will be approximately normal if the sample sizes are large. Otherwise, these two distributions will also be normal if their populations are normal. I'm not talking about the shape of the distribution here and here, because one of them is followed by the chi-square distribution and other of them is a case of F distribution. So the two distribution that will be considered in the next chapter or after that, that two distribution will be chi-square distribution and the F distribution. In this problem, this is the problem number 10.23 from the book. Two variables are here, two populations are here. Population mean is 40 and a standard deviation of 2, and the population mean 40 and a standard deviation of 6. So we have the two populations. First population has a mean of 40 and the standard deviation of 12. Second have a mean of 40 and the standard deviation. It means their means are same. If the population means are same with the different standard deviation, so we can depict these two distribution like this. We have this and this. Standard deviations are changed. It has a higher standard deviation, it has a smaller standard deviation, but their means are 40. This number will be 40. Mean of the both distribution will be same, but the standard deviation represent the spreadness of the distribution. The one which has the 12 standard deviation has a wider shape, and the population which has a 6 standard deviation has a smaller shape. What to do? For independent sample of size 9 and 4 respectively, determine the mean and standard deviation of the sampling distribution. So according to the theorem, the mean of the sampling distribution of the difference of the two means will be same as the difference of the two population means. So we have just to take a difference of the two population means, which is 40 minus 40. So we can say that it is 0. The mean of the sampling distribution of the difference of the two will be 0. Second one, standard error can be computed by sigma 1 square upon n1 plus sigma 2 square upon n2 and a whole square of that. So that is the first part of this problem. The mean of the sampling distribution of the difference of two means x bar 1 minus x bar 2, it is equal to mu1 minus mu2. Mu1 is the mean of the first population and mu2 is the mean of second population. So this is equal to 40 minus 40, which is 0. Zero is the mean of the distribution. Then we are interested in the standard error. Standard error is the sigma x bar or the sigma x bar 1 minus x bar 2, because our variable is not x bar here, our variable is the x bar 1 minus x bar 2. So that is equal to under the root sigma 1 square upon n1 plus sigma 2 square upon n2 and whole square under root of that. So this is equal to 12 square upon 9 plus sigma square 2, it is 6 square upon 4. Because the sample sizes are given, sample size 1 is 9 and the sample size 2 is 4, under root of that. This is equal to 5. So in conclusion, we can say that the distribution of the difference of the two sample means has a mean of 0 and a standard deviation of 5. In part B, what you can conclude about the normality of this distribution? So the distribution of the difference of two mean will be approximately normally distributed if the sample sizes are large. So I have a small sample sizes here. So I cannot use the central limit theorem in this problem because the sample sizes are small. But according to the given statement, the two populations are individually normally distributed. That is why we can use normal probability table to compute the probability in part C, because if the populations from where the samples are selected are normally distributed, then the difference of the two sample means will also be a normally distributed. So we can use to normal distribution table to find out the probability. What probability is to be find out? The probability is to be find out for these two samples of 9 and 4 respectively. The difference between the two sample mean is lies in between -10 and +10. So we have to find out the percentage or the probability. If I am multiplying it by 100, it will be in percentage. If I'm not multiplying the probability, it is in the probability form. So what is required? It is required that probability of x bar 1 minus x bar 2 lies in between -10 and +10. After obtaining this probability, we will multiply it by 100 so that the answer will be in percentage. So according to the theory, this is a normally distributed variable. So we can have a Z table in this case. Now subtract the mean of the sampling distribution of difference of two mean. So this can be used as -10 -0. This is 0. Divided by standard error, it is 5. In center, I have Z because I have converted the x bar 1 minus x bar 2 into the Z distribution. So this will be equal to the +10 -0 divided by 5. So 10 upon 5 minus 10 upon 5 and plus 10 upon 5. This is equal to probability -2 and Z +2. Theoretically, it can be because the table of the normal probabilities is a cumulative table. So we can represent this as Z less than 2 minus Z less than -2. This can also be written in the form of a CDF. So we can represent it by f of 2, which is the probability from -infinity up to 2, minus f of -2. This is equal to 0.9772. And this is equal to 0.0228. And the difference is 0.9544. So we can conclude that 95% 44 observations will lie in between -10 and +10 of the variable of the difference of the two sample means. So the conclusion is the distribution of x bar 1 minus x bar 2 with the probabilities of x bar 1 minus x bar 2. This is the sampling distribution of the difference of two means. This distribution has a mean E x bar 1 minus x bar 2 is equal to mu1 minus mu2. Variance of the sampling distribution of x bar 1, if we are interested in the variance of the sampling distribution of one mean only, so according to the description, it is equal to sigma square 1 divided by n1. If we are interested in the variance of the sampling distribution of mean 2, it is equal to sigma 2 square upon n2. But we are not interested in these two variances. We are interested in the variance of the sampling distribution of the difference of two means. That difference of two mean is equal to the sum of these two variances, sigma 1 square upon n1 plus sigma 2 square upon n2. And if we are interested in the standard error, that is equal to the standard deviation of the, so take the square root on the both side, we will have the standard error of the difference of the two means. This is equal to sigma standard error, standard deviation of x bar 1 minus x bar 2 is equal to square root of this sigma 1 square upon n1 plus sigma 2 square upon n2. I am leaving one question here for you. And that question is, why we have a plus sign here while we are considering the difference of two means? Why not we have a negative sign here? So you have to think on that and discuss it in class.